Pecktec, and it occurred to me that although I did make a Fluval Flora video a long time ago, I never really did an unboxing and a setup. So I'm going to take the opportunity to do that now. We've just won this one, and what you're going to see is we'll do the unboxing. I'm going to shoot the setup live with other cameras also. I'm going to remix it all together. And then about maybe a month later, maybe 2 months later, I'm going to shoot an update and it'll be all in this video. This is the first part, the unboxing. So let's get this thing out of the box and onto this new stand and see how it looks. All right, so I've got a little stand here to help me hold this box, and we'll open it up and take a look inside. All right, so here's the view from inside. Some paper. Going to help keep things from bouncing around. So it comes with this bag of stratum. Now, stratum is pretty nice. It does have to be replaced after a fairly short period of time. I think it lasts about a year or so, and you should actually pull the substrate out and replace it, which seems kind of like a pain. But I usually mix it with some other stuff. And this bag, I don't know, it would just barely cover the bottom of this aquarium. Really, you need more than one bag, but it does come with one, so that's cool. And we'll set that aside here. It comes with this compact fluorescent light. Now, in my original video, I actually used 2 of these, but I've already gone back to one. One is sufficient. It actually is a really nice light, very reliable, and it looks good. I love the color from these. It also comes with this miniature CO2 kit. Now the CO2 kit is actually pretty decent. It's okay, at least for a little while. It seemed to do okay at first, and then I think I decided this was a little bit too expensive. You'd fill this up once a day. You know, when you fill up the CO2, the water bubbles kind of develop inside of these things, and they dissipate. You know, they mix with the water and dissipate during the day. So instead of continuously running, you fill up and put some CO2 bubbles inside of your aquarium, and the water just kind of slowly takes it away. Or absorbs it. And you've got this filter. This filter is really nice. It's actually pretty powerful. It's a little bit too big, I think, considering the background has this foam on it, but it is a good filter. It comes with a spray bar. Lots of space for putting some biological material in there if you want to switch some of this out. And it's pretty nice. Comes with a little bit, looks like some plant food. What we have here, oh, and this is a nice thing that doesn't come with enough aquariums. This is actually what you put on the base. So you lay this down first, and it gives it a nice cushy mat for the glass to sit on. And that's really nice. I'm glad they include that. They also have a little beginner's guide to help teach you about caring for plants and talk about all these different plants, and give you a few tips to tell you about some of their products to help grow your plants and stuff. And of course, some advertisements. And it's a nice little book to review. I mean, if you've never had a planted aquarium and you get this, you know, to start your first planted aquarium, this is not a bad read. So take a look. I even read it. Oh, we got a little white container. Let's see what this is. Oh, okay. A couple more items. So here we have, these parts fit on the edge, and they keep the glass top from falling in. So these will fit on the edge, sort of like these do. Yeah, these things fit right here on the edge, and they keep the glass where it's supposed to be. It comes with a nice, pretty classy little thermometer, and some tongs, which are very, very useful. I love these things. Very good thing to include in a planted aquarium setup. Now, as you can see, the back of this aquarium has this nice kind of a rock looking foam insert. And it actually looks really nice. It can collect algae and be a pain to clean off of. But it also, I mean, even if the algae does build up on there a little bit, it looks gives it kind of a natural look. It almost makes it look more realistic. Now what happened with mine is I went to move it and the aquarium slipped like an inch away from the ground. It slipped and kind of had a little jolt. And this actually popped right out of the back. This is just siliconed in. And it shot out of the water like a styrofoam cooler lid, that you're trying to hold in the swimming pool or something. Just whoosh, shot right out of the water. So be careful. This will come off if you're not careful with it. Okay. There. Now, let's pull this out. Kind of get an idea where we want it. And, one last thing. Here is the lid. Now, a lot of you guys like to run your aquariums without lids and stuff, and I've experimented with that a little bit just in the past couple of weeks with a 27-gallon cube. But man, there's a lot of evaporation. And fish jumping out is a problem that you will have. But this does come with a nice glass lid. It's got a little round hole both for your finger and to stick some food in there. And the corners here are trimmed so that the wires and stuff can come out the side. So that's really clever. A really smart thing to do. I'm going to stick this actually back in the box until I'm ready for it. Alright. Well, we want to find the center of this thing, or get very close. I don't know about you guys, but my wife will notice if it is the slightest micron off, and everything is not nice and proportional. Even this pea, where that is. But the great thing is this thing is so small that if I do make a mistake, well, we can come back from that. Okay, this is more difficult than I thought it would be. If you got time, what it might be a smart thing to do is to take this thing, put the glass on it, and let it sit overnight so it gets nice and flat, and you're not having to do what I'm doing now. But I'm shooting a video, so we're going to do it right now! Alright. Somehow. We'll see. Alright. Well, you're able to see through it. Makes it really easy to line up. Alright. So I'm just lining this up all the way around. So it's not sticking out in one corner more than the other, or the front or the back. It will squish just a little bit once we put a bunch of water in here. I want to leave a little bit of room in the back for cords and whatnot. Alright. Something to note when you pull these off of the white packaging is that one of these has a notch right here. That's so the cables can escape from the aquarium, and the other kind that have no notch go in the front, and I put these in the back. So let's do that now. Now at this point, if you haven't already, it's a good time to go around all the seams and just kind of visually inspect the aquarium, make sure there are no cracks, make sure all the seams look like they're reasonably sealed and everything looks like it's good to go. Do this before you put water in it. I don't know, it's just something I like to do. But it will save you some headaches later. I have seen these arrive broken. Unfortunately, it happens. I mean, these are shipped a long way. So be sure to check it out before you put any substrate in or anything else in. Check all these seams. Just make sure they look good. Make sure there are no cracks visible. And then you're good to go to the next step. I believe setting up this light's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to it. It's already got the bulb installed and everything. I'm just going to kind of pluck it from here. It does have this little bracket that we attach to the back, and let's do that first. Alright, so this is the little device that holds the light on, and this is kind of how it works. It's an acrylic stand, and it's got some Phillips head screws in the back. Now you can finger tighten and loosen these, but I do recommend that, well, I would do it with your fingers first and kind of feel it out. If you feel like you've got to actually use a tool to tighten these, maybe your fingers are very, maybe you can't pinch like this and grab these things. So if that's true, use a screwdriver. If not, just use your fingers. It works pretty well. These do come tightened all the way, so you've got to loosen it up, and I usually loosen it just so the glass can fit in here. Now, it slides right onto the back of here. Whoop, this one needs to be loosened a little bit more. There we go. And you can see the top of this will be flush with the background. And then I just finger tighten them back. Kind of get it approximately in the middle. Doesn't have to be exactly in the middle if you don't want, but try to get it a little bit more centered. Alright, so this has a fairly heavy wall wart. I'm just going to extend that, kind of set it over there. Okay, so here we have this mechanism. We're going to loosen this up a little bit. That should come up. And then this unscrews. Careful not to lose this little washer here. Can't remember if that goes in the top or the bottom. I'm going to put it in the top. So this just kind of goes, and this little part slides right into here. Okay, the washer goes on the bottom. Alright, slides right through like so. Take the washer, finagle it into place, and it tightens up like that. Now you've attached the light. Alright, this thing comes with a pump also, and we're going to check that out. I do plan on I'm going to use everything that comes with the Fluval Flora this time, just as it comes, and see what it's like. Because last time I modified mine quite a bit. Alright, this pump is very, very simple. It's a simple box filter. It comes apart like so. You can pull this part off and clean it if you need to. It's got one of the front screen, that you can clean off, and it's got some like really thick stuff in the back. Now you can take these sections out and replace them with all kinds of biological material, whatever works best for you. They've got some sort of porous, spongy stuff, which is okay. This kind of looks like what's in my pond filter. That's okay, but I'll at least put some ceramic up to kind of get this thing kick-started off. And yeah, that's the filter, more or less. Snaps right back on. It does have a spray bar. This thing's actually really powerful. When I was playing with the steampunk aquarium, the aquaponics project, I had this in the bottom pumping the water back up to the top. It was the only box filter I could find that was strong enough to do that. Alright. Fits on like so. And then the spray bar goes right at the end. Man, these things are like super tight. I put it on like a couple of times and then took it off. Just because it's so hard to do. Okay. So I'm not even going to slide it down all the way. I'm going to get it like what seems like a reasonable amount and get it pointed the right direction. Alright. This part fought me a lot too for some reason, but now it's going on just fine. So anyway, it slides on like that, and that is your box filter. Put this near the surface of the water. It gives a nice even distribution of water across the surface. And it's probably going to go on the side over here. So this will go like so. Okay, and I think the last piece we actually have to set up is the CO2. So we'll go ahead and get that going. Well, this is something I'll definitely set up initially. I don't know if I'll leave it on there or not. Instructions! But I will get it. I will put it on there just to show you how it's done in case you got this tank and you want to set this part up too. Alright. Got the little cap. Got the CO2 and a little backpack for it. And the actual containers that will hold the CO2. Now, as you can see, these are just kind of little plastic bubbles that go under the water. You can remove these, I think. Sometimes you can remove these if you've got some excess stuff in there you want to get out. I thought they came loose, but maybe not. So I'm going to leave these alone. Alright. And here's the CO2 cartridge. It's basically almost like a paintball CO2 cartridge, but it's made by Fluval. I've been pronouncing Fluval wrong all these years. It's Fluval. Here's the little backpack for it. This fits right in there. And that can just fit like right on the side. Okay, so probably the first thing to do would be set up the tubing with this little part that goes on top of the CO2. So we're going to take some of the tubing that it came with, and I've actually removed this nut. This was like so, and I've unscrewed it. I'm going to put it through the top of the tubing. Alright. Then put the tubing on, like that, and then it goes back down and it screws and to lock it in place. See how easy that is? Not bad. Get it nice and tight with your fingers. I'll play with the valve a little bit and see how that feels. Okay, now I'm going to take this out of the backpack so it doesn't slide around. And this just screws onto the top, and you should hear it like pierces through because it's got a sealed top, so this pierces the top. Didn't really hear anything, but when it's nice and tight, you pretty much got it. And of course, the other end of the tube goes to the top of this little plastic bubble. There's probably a really smart way to call this. The diffuser. How about that? So the hose fits right into the top of the diffuser. What's funny is these come apart, and I've actually used half of this before, but this, the CO2 comes through here, and it bubbles down into this one, and then there's a tube that kind of sends it back up into this one, and then this is where the release is. But you just fit them together like so. You've got a nice little double chamber. Since there's no water and all the suction cups aren't going to stick just yet, I'm just going to kind of set it on the side over here. I'm going to go ahead and put the tube through the little notch. Then connect it like that. So this will go down here someplace. And CO2 thingy. I'm just dumping the stratum straight in. Wow, it covered a little better than I thought it would. I've added just the contents of the Fluval stratum to the bottom, and as you can see, it does cover it pretty well. But I've just purchased some 88 aqua soil, and I'm really wanting to try it out, so I'm going to add a little bit of that to the top here. Not, of course, not even close to this whole bag, but I'm just going to add just a little bit. Alright. Actually, before I get started, I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Okay, it's been quite a while since I started this Fluval Flora, or the Mary Kayrium as it's come to be known in our house. And it's doing pretty well. It's had a few problems. A lot of it's the new tank, typical new tank issues. I've had some issues with cyanobacteria. Sometimes that's a circulation thing. Sometimes it's just too many nutrients. So I'm working through that. Overall, it's been a real easy tank to keep up. I've added just a couple more plants to sort of fill it in a little bit more while things start to grow. I haven't noticed a big deal or a whole lot of growth specifically from the CO2. I'm still using the same cartridge that I used when I set it up. I've filled up both those containers pretty much every day. I might have forgotten a day or two here or there, but it's still going. I've still got the original pump. It was a little bit rattly at first, but actually that kind of worked itself out, and now it's nice and quiet. And overall, I'm real happy with the tank. This is one of my favorite shaped tanks. I love the compact size. I love the curved sides of it right here in the front, although it's a little bit hard to clean right here. It's a really terrific tank, and we've had a good time with it. If you've got this on your Christmas list, you certainly won't be sorry. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. Tank on. See you soon. Setup of this live, that's already happened. I'm going to, believe it or not, because this is happening in the future from now, and yet it's already happened. You know, I never really did a setup and unboxing. All right. And it doesn't move. Oh! I'll confess, at the hobby store, I found another big giant pea and I picked it up. What can I say? I like to buy pea every now and then. Oh, and Andy, my old friend from high school, Andy Harris. I ran into your mom while I was buying pea. Yeah, she said hello. Yeah, it's pretty fun.